Hi, my name is Dean Sweetman. I'm from Tithely, and I'm here to talk to you today about managing your donors, managing your givers. You spend a lot of time talking about the vision. People are contributing to the vision, to the church plant, to the expansion, whatever it is. And now there's a really key area that I think is a lot of times missed, and that is how do you continue to communicate with those people who are making those contributions. And so I think the first thing you got to really think through is that, especially if you're a lead pastor, if you're leading this charge and this vision, you've got to take it upon yourself. It's your responsibility to communicate to the donors on a regular basis about the church finances, about your budgets, about the actuals versus the projections. You're running a church, but you've really got to overlay some very important business principles in running that church. We like, as ministers, we like to just keep all things spiritual. And we want to spend our time and our effort and our resources in the realm of prayer and the word and all things that are critical, by the way, and something that we should be mostly focused on. But a lot of times I've seen over the years that ministries that take their eyes off the business principles can get themselves in a bit of trouble down the track. And so I want to give you a few keys to make sure that you keep your eye on those while also doing what God has called and gifted you to do. One of the things that I think is critical is that at any point in your ministry's life, you're going to have some key donors. You're going to have some large donors. I can remember in my very first church plant here in the U.S., I had a guy, I was 2 months in, and this is back in the 90s, he put a $4,000 check. And I'm there keying it into the computer, and I'm having a heart attack, and I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe he did one extra zero. And so I rang him up, and I said, hey, we got your check. Was $4,000 the right amount? He goes, yeah, Pastor, that's our monthly tithe. And I couldn't believe it. There's a lot of money back then, a lot of money now. And so, but it taught me a great principle. He asked if he could take me to lunch, and of course I said yes. And he was a business guy, and he taught me something really powerful. He said, Dean, there are business people, as a young minister at the time, there are business people that come to church, especially church plants, and they want to be involved, they want to contribute. All they need is some communication back, and they stay faithful. And so I learned that principle very early, right through 20 years of church planting ministry, was to always have great communication with the key donors. That doesn't mean I'm there to suck up to them. I'm not there to get money out of them. I'm not there to do anything else but thank them. I want them to appreciate the fact that they're giving money to this ministry, this church plant. I want them to know that I'm praying for them. I'm believing God for their family. I'm praying for their business. I'd get all the business guys that were giving large sums of money every couple, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. I'd get them to a breakfast. I'd buy breakfast for them. I'd pray over their businesses. I'd pray over their families. I'd pray over them. I think nurturing your key donors is very smart business when it comes to growing your church and thinking about that key income that comes above and beyond. And so helping those large donors feel secure, allowing them to see maybe kind of under the hood of your business. These are business people. They deal in numbers all day, every day. And so you need to feel comfortable to be able to share some of the things that you're doing from a business perspective, and that will only make them more confident in them wanting to contribute and support your ministry. You also need to do with your donors at large, you need to celebrate the wins that you have as a church. It doesn't have to be huge. You listen to, these big churches and they're opening multi-million-dollar facilities, and that can feel a little overwhelming when you're just starting out or you've got a smaller ministry. But if you set a goal, say, to buy new chairs or to get a new, PA or to get a new projector for your team, anything small like that where you guys have a focus on raising money and you hit that goal, man, you need to celebrate things. You need to come up before the church and say, hey, church, over the last 9 weeks, we set a goal to raise $10,000 to get the new PA system, and we hit it, you did it, and you need to celebrate that. Every little celebration goes a long way to doing a few things. The first thing it does, it gets people very confident in what you're doing. As a pastor, as a vision leader, you get up there and say, we're going to do this. And then 6, 8 weeks, 10 weeks later, you did it. That gives people a lot of confidence to do, guess what? Give again. The next time you go up and say, hey, we're thinking about, going into a school hall and it's going to be a $100,000 budget. We want to raise that over the next, 2 quarters. And you go, you set a program, you go and do it, you do it, and you can stand up in front of the church and say, we said it, we did it, let's go again. And then you're going to go, get a building or buy some land. Even all the way back in the beginning, establish the pattern of being able to project a vision, a goal, to reach a certain amount of money, to buy something, and then celebrate, celebrate, celebrate every time that you get to do that. When the church sees you can be trusted with small amounts, they will give you more. You don't have to talk about the church's finance every single time you get up in front of people. Levels of communication different with different people you're going to talk to. But I would always feel a sense of having the key stakeholders very informed with what's going on in the financing, and make sure the people who are contributing to your church have that sense of security, and they feel like that the money that they're giving is being cared for and stewarded by you as the leader. That's all for now. We'll see you next time.